Alright, so today I want to show you an Acadian forest floodplain. And these forests are really unique because they sort of border rivers, and typically the soils are very rich and thick and dark. They hold a whole load of very unique species that grow just in floodplains. And I'm here in Northern Nova Scotia, and I'm going to explore a floodplain on the Middle River. Let's go. All right, so I'm actually above the river now. You can see these areas here, and there's one out in the forest over there where the main river has overflowed. And what that does is it brings all that dark soil into this sort of woods area, and it gets scattered all around in thick layers every spring when the breakup starts. And those thick layers of soil makes these areas really rich. And typically they usually end up being farmed. But this spot is so unique. It's still remaining. It's old growth and just stunning. All right, so we have to go down there and we have to cross that little stream. So we're gonna do some, just gonna slide down this bank. We've arrived. All right, so we crossed the stream. There's my snowshoes, give you an idea of how big this ash tree is. Look at it, huge, so unique. There's all these lovely lichens growing on it. Just little ecosystems of their own. So this is called orange jelly spot. It loves to grow on dead trees. Let's see it there, this old tree. Now, these old snags are really important in these types of forests, and they take decades from when a tree dies to end up like this, and they provide food and nesting areas for birds and all kinds of mammals that would live in a spot like this. See up there, it's all been taken apart by probably Peliated woodpeckers. Some nesting holes there for birds like maybe barred owls or chickadees or northern flickers or hairy woodpeckers. Yeah, so these old snags, extremely important. And you can see here, you look through the forest, there's 1, 2, 3, it's just 3, 4 of these old snags in this small section of this forest. So because they're so important, it's important that we kind of recognize them and sort of make sure that they keep their place in the ecosystem. So here you go, you can actually see this floodplain in action. The water's coming off the river, forming small streams where it's flowing into the forest, and then down and out down that way where it will meet the main river again in a few hundred meters. You can see where all this soil has been deposited, and that will form a new layer on the forest floor, which enables these trees, because of the nutrients, to grow big. And also a lot of the typical forest plant species that you would find in a place like this tend to grow. So I'm actually going to photograph this. The moving water should give some nice patterns here. And I've also got a polarizing filter on which will darken the water down. This is kind of interesting. You can see these tracks here. I think they're a raccoon. It's come out of hibernation over the last few days, I would say, and it's getting into these little open areas where the the forest floor has been exposed, and it's finding lots of little morsels in there to eat. You can see here there's sort of two main streams come together right here, and it goes in a big wide arc and then comes around across here and then away off into the distance where it joins the main river. But when spring finally arrives, these areas right here, they form large pools, and they're really important for amphibians and reptiles, like certain turtle species, frogs, salamanders, and these pools will stay here for weeks and weeks and weeks, sometimes months if it's kind of a wet spring, but really important for those particular species. So I've arrived at the sort of the main overflow area. So the main river is way over there, probably a couple of 100 meters, and this is a really large flow coming off of the main river. So it gives you an idea of how much water is moving through here. And if you look up here, that there is a barred owl box that I put up probably 15 years ago, and it's raised several sets of barred owls. Nearly every year there's a barred owl nested, or a pair of barred owls nested in there, but the lid has come off over the last couple of years and been washed away, so no barred owls for a while. I must get that fixed. I'm going to spend a few minutes here and photograph this. It's really beautiful. These ancient ash trees, big ash trees. See if I can find something here. You can see I'm sort of really tight into this branch here, but it's giving me the composition that I want. I have those four trees sort of evenly spaced. There's a light in between each one of them, and I'm capturing this nice piece of ice right here. So we'll see what that looks like. So I really like these three trees here. They have sort of a unique pattern to them. It's pretty difficult to capture them, but we'll see what I can do. You can hear the ice cracking out there. I really like the textures here. This old, it's probably an ash that is down. You see in there all those lovely textures. Might make a nice black and white. And this circle here, sort of concentric circles, really took my eye as well. So we'll take that one and see what it looks like. Oh, I've got some company. It's going to be hard to see, but way up there. I don't know if you can see him, but it's at the right in the center of the screen now. That's a Peliated Woodpecker, our largest woodpecker, a little bit smaller than a crow. Oh, more company over here. It's a robin, right there. Look, there he goes. Yeah. There's been a lot of robins hanging around this year. Lots of food for them, lots of berries. You can see this guy's picking up some food. And we've got more company up here. I don't know if you can hear that, but that's a white-breasted nuthatch up there. How lovely. There's the nuthatch, white-breasted nuthatch. I wish he'd come closer. There he goes. They love these old forests like this. They need big trees. Well, last photograph of the day. This big pool here. If you look down there, I'm going to say that's probably 3 or 4 feet deep, maybe more. Yeah, maybe more. It just gives you an idea again, you know, just how much water comes through these floodplain forests. This is an absolutely, you know, unique and special place, and there are not many like it here in Northern Nova Scotia. Many of them were cut, you know, a couple of centuries ago to farm. So that's why these places are so special. I hope it remains so. I don't know who owns it, or, you know, it's obviously privately owned, but this is one special spot. So this is the floodplain forest on the Middle River in Northern Nova Scotia. Thanks for coming along. Here's some photographs.